So what we feel is we're filling a gap for military kids so they could have these experiences through a bright, colorful story that they can learn about.
Hi, this is Christina Etchberger, and I'm so excited to be kicking off the month of the military child with authors Daniel and Johanna Gomez. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. So I'm Johanna Gomez. I'm a military spouse, and this is my husband.
Hi, I'm Danny. I'm an Army vet.
Wonderful. So tell us about your series. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, they've been read in my house as we've been PCSing and moving to South Korea. We're currently in an Airbnb, but those are the two books that have stayed with us along our journey of having to donate a lot of things, having to try to make sure we can pack everything that we need for our journey. But these books are amazing. So tell us about your series and how it got started.
Sure. So I am a mental health professional, and throughout the years, my passion has been working with military families. And I would take all these like awesome children's books, like the Bernstein Bears, and kind of include them in our sessions. I would have parents, read to their kids and kind of talk about certain themes. But over time, I said, we need our own books. Our military children need our own book series. Our own military families need to tell their stories. So with my husband being a very creative writer, kind of sat down and started coming up with some ideas, and we created The Adventures of a Military Brat.
Yeah, and it fills a need that our kids don't have right now. The Bernstein Bears are just a great series, so they talk about how to share, how to eat healthy, how to treat each other nicely, things like that. That's stuff that every child goes through. But Papa Bear never had to deploy to Iraq, right? Mama Bear didn't have to pack the whole house up for a PCS or anything like that. So what we feel is we're filling a gap for military kids so they could have these experiences through a bright, colorful story that they can learn about.
That's wonderful. And I like the humor involved with that because it is so true, because that was my favorite series growing up. And going through all these different books that are out there, and we've featured a few already, these books, just like the other ones that we featured as well, my son, he asked me to reread them over and over and over, because I feel like, because I have a son 3.5 and then a son that's 1.5, and especially with my 3.5-year-old, he's not understanding why are we moving from going from selling the house to an extended stay to then moving with family for a little bit and then going to an Airbnb. And then we mentioned South Korea, and he's like, South Korea? He doesn't even know what that really is, but he completely understands the journey through a storybook. So I absolutely love the stories. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the stories and maybe share just kind of a synopsis of each and just kind of run us through some of the illustrations? That's some of my son's favorite parts too.
The first one is My Military Life. And it's basically a day in the life of a military child, right? And we started off, the child itself, he remains nameless so that the kid can put on that persona, basically, so that they can see themselves in that kid, right? And then in this book, we highlight some very basic things that every military brat will experience, whether it's Navy, Marines, Army. If they're in the military and their parents in the military, they'll experience this type of stuff, right? So first things first, right? People come to visit all the time, and the military brat gets to introduce them to their lifestyle, which is usually completely different. And here we have like the PT clothes and the uniform hanging in the hallway. Everybody who's had a military member of the house knows that it gets everywhere. Everything's camouflaged everywhere. So we try to bring that in. The young boy shares his experience about moving, right? So he shares his toys and what he's proud of, but he also shows them where he's been. So he shows them a map and points to the different bases he's been, because, you know, he's moved a lot in his lifetime. He shows them his favorite PT shirt, right? Because his dad's always going to have these unit T-shirts with little symbols on it, right? That's something almost every kid has. In the car trip, as they're going to their dad's celebration, redeployment celebration, they're going to pass the commissary and PX, another staple that no matter what base you go to, you're going to experience that type of stuff. You know, everybody's parents in a uniform, so, you know, we want to show that interaction as well. And what else? You know, he's at a celebration and celebrating this homecoming, so they have like a family day. So they get to do stuff like show them helicopters, try on gear, and kids always get a kick of trying on gear and things like that. And this picture actually came from a real picture of my son, where he got to go to like an air show and put on a helmet, and it just shows that very unique thing that the military has that most take your kids to work days don't experience, right? And then finally, we show that, you know, on the military bases, we have these traditions, and one is saluting the flag and standing for attention, hearing reveille and things like that. And we highlight that, and we show that not only is he a part of, that his dad is part of the military, it's something much bigger, and it's supporting our country and how he shows respect for that, right? We have glossaries in each book that show specific items that maybe people aren't familiar with, like the PX, what's a bugle call, what are the colors, right? And here we have the symbolism of our logo. It's a very unique logo that highlights very important things to us. So we go through that there. And Joanna's hardest work right here is the author's note. The author's note is for parents, guardians, or healthcare providers to and explains to them how they can share the important highlights of the story with their kid to foster here like optimism, resilience, and confidence, right? How to deal with new experiences, problem solving, and personal growth, and how to support a supportive home, school, and community environment. And then it gives little tips on that.
I love that. As an educator, like when I saw that part, I'm like, ooh, vocabulary and how to reach my child social emotionally too, because we were that age, but maybe didn't have those same experiences as they do now, and it's a different time. So I absolutely love that component so much. So you mentioned that there were different aspects of the book that related to whether it be photography or photos that you had within your life. Yes. Is there anything else within that particular book that related to your family?
Oh yes, yeah. So we definitely have a few little special things like New York City. We're both from New York City. We're both raised in Queens, and you know, we've always heard families get really excited about you know, having someone come visit them from back home. So that for us, you know, we kind of remember the stories of like our best friend coming with their kids, and everybody gets really excited, you know. We love our community, but it's nice to have a little bit of home. So we kind of included that in our story, as well as like locations where we've been and the license plate, years we've been there. So just little details that make it special to us too.
Yeah, you know, the idea is mainly the main part, you know, coming. We never had kids when I was deployed, but I've seen this happen with all of our friends, the redeployment, the hugging of the kids when they get back, trying to catch up, right? Make up for the time lost, unfortunately. But we took a lot of that spirit and put it in this book. With the other book, almost every picture is from our personal experience.
Our own, you know, our own experiences, but also like those, of course, that my clients have, you know, share with me, you know, how they've transitioned and all these things. But it's a reoccurring theme for our military families.
Yeah, and here's that other book, The Big Move.
This is you right now.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's the one we've been rereading. And that's the one I would love personally to give away to anyone that's watching and can comment saying, I want one of these books, or just even saying the big move. I would love to give that away personally, because that one really helped us kind of go through the process with my son. So I want to keep a little bit of a secret, but maybe just show a little bit of it, so people can get really excited about it.
The one very important thing that kind of drove me to think of how I wanted these images to be like was really being able to think of the story from the child's perspective. All of them are from the children's perspective, but here was like, my special box, this is something that I've always shared with my clients, like let the kiddo be involved in the move, because it's such a scary thing where things are being taken down from the walls, things are being packed up. It could look very scary for kids, or just very confusing, and they'll start kind of tantruming or kind of acting out. But if we include them and make it fun, these are things that I've done with my own kids, where we put boxes out there, let them color, let them put stickers on it, let them put their favorite toys, and when we walked into our home, they carry their own box, so making it be really part of the experience itself, and feeling excited that they're part of it too.
Yeah. I love the ownership.
Yeah, absolutely. And the moving is, didn't they rated the numbers of the highest stressors someone can have in their life, and it's public speaking, dying, moving, and getting a new job, right? And so, and I don't know if those two are in the right order, but moving and getting a new job is what soldiers do all the time, right?
Yes.
And kids have to go through this as well, and they have to deal with all these issues. So we highlight some of that stuff. Here, she's feeling a little bit of melancholy because she's worried about moving, and she's trying to share her feelings with her dog, and trying to deal with these emotions about, I have to say goodbye to my friends, or am I going to meet new friends? And we have challenges doing that as adults, let alone kids, right? So we she's thinking about her friends and her old house from when she moved before. So we give her a tool, a strategy to deal with that, and that's taking pictures of the house and having good memories of each of those places in the house.
Yes, which is what we do throughout the story, through all stories, is really tell the story of the military child practicing their resilience, because it's something that we don't, we may not always feel like we're very strong. We may feel sad, and that's okay. But resilience doesn't mean that you just have to be at your tip top strongest. Resilience is a process and it's a journey, right? So in our stories, we share strategies so kids and families can practice and do. And maybe if it didn't work well, they can try it again next time, right? But that's why in our t-shirts and our character t-shirts, we have the word resilient. It's a process and it's a journey. And it could even mean when you're not feeling your best. But the idea of being resilient is that you gain strength from those opportunities.
Right. And so here's here she's remembering some of the pictures when she was a baby, and being in her favorite rooms, and the time that she spent with her parents in these rooms. Here she's having sock fights in the bedroom. She's low crawling in the hallway and things like that. And if this doesn't make you terrible, I never will. What else?
It's wonderful.
She says bye to her old family. She says bye to her old house, neighbors, right? And
our son, when we were getting ready to move, and we were doing all this, kind of getting them ready to transition, we went outside and we ran around in our backyard and just kind of did the things that we had so much fun doing. And then he came up to us and he said, I want to leave a bubble wand for the new owners of the home. And so we're like, we'll get you one.
So their kids can have fun too.
So their kids can have fun in our home and make their new memories. And we're like, we gotta get this bubble wand, So we went and got him bubble wands, and he left them at the the front and the steps.
Yeah.
And, you know, that just became part of our story.
Oh, that's so precious. And it shows you that he's kind of watching what you're doing for him, and then he wants to then share it with others. That giving nature is so sweet. And just, I loved the aspect of the fact that he was so giving about it, knowing that maybe he doesn't want to, you know, try the new home or leave his friends, but he's trying to make the other person or the other child feel that comfort that maybe you're providing at home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And do you know what the most incredible part was? We published this book before we moved, and obviously we carried this book getting ready to move here to North Carolina. And as we were getting out of our vehicle and just like bringing out some new boxes, we hear a voice behind us that says, "Hi, neighbors." And they were a military family doing exactly what this family was doing.
Oh.
You know?
Right?
Right here.
Yeah.
Right here. Where they brought us a little note with their phone number and
Donuts.
My son loves donuts.
Yeah. And so we said, see, this is what we're living. This is our life, you know. So that's where we get our inspiration and our passion to keep writing.
That's so wonderful. And you have the glossary and the symbolism at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and like we cover, you know, what a on-post housing is, off-post housing, PCS,
non-military families.
household goods. Like those are things that are not in the lexicon of non-military people. And here we talk about education and then the challenges of moving and what it entails. Flexible, being adaptable, teaching children that they can be stronger from these experiences,
mm-hmm.
and things like that.
Right, because the military family goes through a lot, you know, but through all those experiences, there's growth, there's connections, there's experiences that can help us later on. So that's definitely the message we want to portray to these children too, that, you know, they go through many challenges, but that they're also very resilient because of these challenges.
Yeah, they're tougher for it, you know, like if kids have never been challenged with moving, when they first move as an adult, they're like, oh my God. But these kids are like, oh, I did that before. And most importantly, we have the stickers. The stickers that get everywhere.
Yes. Oh my gosh, our stickers saved us during our move because they messed up the itemizing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, thank goodness we were working with Team Box Ops. I'm like, thank you for having these amazing stickers, because otherwise everything would have been so. Yeah.
And they have we even put, you know, like some of the stuff is going to be broken. Or is it?
Like, be prepared. Some of these things may get lost.
Some of it may get scratched, broken, or lost. It happens every time we move, right?
I love that. It's so realistic. And I know, like, even for my son, it's nice for him to know, okay, that is something that's normal. That is something that happens. Because I know as a kid, I always like to know what to expect. And oh my God. And it's so great because it goes from the military brat or military child being, I guess, the minority of the situation of the community that they're in, to being actually the leader, the educator, the one that's teaching what is my lifestyle? What do I do? And that's what's so beautiful about it. It's not, oh, you know, this military brat, this military child's coming to our school. It's, oh, okay, this is really neat. This is really interesting. And giving that child, I guess that, like I said, that leadership role, or that strength to say, yeah, my life is wonderful. My life is something unique. It might be rare, but I want to teach others what it is all about, because it is something very important that we should all know about, civilian or military.
Yeah. And, you know, something that we learned was we went to our son's school to share these stories, and the majority of the school was not military.
Yeah, it was after I got out of active duty. You know, when we went back to New York, there's no bases anywhere close. So being a soldier is very unique.
Yeah, and we share these stories in the classroom. And one thing I realized was that there is so much pride in being part of a military community, because when we read this, you saw other kids say, "My grandpa was in the army," or "My uncle is a soldier." So kids that were not necessarily military kids themselves, but they demonstrated so much pride of their family members, and I love that, because that's what the community is about. So they got to hear stories about maybe their own parent being that military child, and that was fun just to kind of see, their pride. And so at the end of it was, you could see some kids really standing up and like being part of what we were sharing too.
That's wonderful. I absolutely love it. And where would people find these books, the series? Because I know I have both of them, and I'm so excited about it. And we're going to be carrying it on as we move to South Korea and beyond. Where would we be able to find these books?
Okay. Well, you can go to our website at www.adventuresofamilitarybrat.com, and you can buy them from Shopify there. You just click on it, and you can buy them there. And then they're also available on online, Amazon, everyone, that Barnes and Nobles, everybody sells them. Now, there are two types. There's soft cover and hardcover, right? So the soft covers are available on our website. The hardcover is available right now only through Mascot Books. So you could buy them from Mascot Books, the hardcover. And we only have the Big Move in hardcover right now. And the Military Life will be coming out on hardcover a few months, maybe 2 months probably. And then we are excited to announce that we are writing the third book in the series, where we haven't decided if this is going to be our next theme, but over the next couple months, we'll have all these different themes continuing on the series, whether it's preparing for deployment, talking about Veterans Day, which was one of the main reasons why I started writing this book, is because all the Veterans Day books out there talk about like the armistice and stuff like that. And kids don't want to hear about an armistice, right?
No.
They just want to know, are you in the soldier? Are you a soldier? What do you do in the army? What kind of uniforms you wear and stuff like that. So we want to continue that type of stuff and bring more material to that. One of the other ones we're working on is living abroad, like moving to South Korea or Germany, because kids have to deal with a completely different set of circumstances there. Very few people, very few kids have to do that.
Yes. Oh, and then just the culture change, the language change. I'm somewhat proficient in Spanish, so like that would be an easy transition for me. But Korean, I'm like, whoa, it's a completely different dialect, completely different language. I was an ESL teacher, but wow, it'll be fun though. I'm really excited about that. Yeah. And I think part of it is embracing the culture, embracing the language, the challenges, and knowing that that's a part of this amazing experience. And I see Caitlin commented, she's my really great friend since I was 5, and I was been still able to, continue that wonderful friendship, even with all the moving. Such a sweet moment that you talked about earlier. It really was. She has 2 little ones of her own. And that's what's so important, is for not only to learn how to experience all these different changes, but then also keep what you had before, but it's going to be different. And that's something as an adult I had to realize that, okay, I'm from the Chicago area. I'm not experiencing what's going on there, or maybe I'm not even experiencing the weather that I was familiar with, the climate, but the culture and the customs. And really embracing the military community, because it really is a strong community full of resilient people, and especially this month, full of amazing military children. So thank you so much. And I'll make sure, I know Jenna, she's been in the comments. She put where to purchase. So we'll make sure that we do any more updates in that. My husband says hi. He's in the comments. But yes, so I'm so excited that we were able to talk with you. And any last, thing that you would like to share with the military children and families, just some words of wisdom as they transition or kind of work out the ups and downs of the military life?
Yes, so absolutely. One thing that is, I think, primary and very important for all of us to do is connect, because there are so many resources out there and there's so many of us, but sometimes the issue is in the connection of services or resources or support and then us. And so it really takes, making those steps and trying to make those connections. And, I know it's hard to do that. We've had to move many times. And so having to come out of our house and kind of reintroduce ourselves, like, it may be difficult, but connect. And by connecting, you're automatically giving yourself an opportunity to be part of a greater community, and to also obviously pass these skills on to your children. Your children, like our children, learn everything from us. So if we're teaching them, hey, this is difficult, but let's go to the new park, let's go to the new school, let's do these things. And if we model these things for our kids, they're learning. So they're going to be these adolescents and grown-ups who also have already, this toolbox that they can pull out in any situation, and then be able to help others, help themselves and their families. So that would definitely be my advice.
Yeah. Connect, reach out, go out to the community, see what's out there, libraries, movie theaters, chat groups, anything you can to connect with everyone in your community. It's how you make friends. Even neighbors. You might have terrible neighbors that you don't even talk to, or neighbors that your best friends in the whole wide world for the rest of your lives, right? And you never know unless you try. So we highly recommend that for kids, adults. Adults don't know that. Adults need to do it too, right? And
yes.
We know military spouses and soldiers, they go out. I got to go hang out with these guys for 24/7 in the forest. They make best friends in seconds, right? And they follow them around forever. Everyone at home, not so much at all, especially if you're taking care of the kids. It's hard to make new friends, hard to meet new people. But that's a necessary thing, right? To meet new people, make friends, because so we're forced to. But you guys are not, so I recommend that that's included as well when you go to new places. Maybe we should do Adventures in Military Spouse.
Yeah,
a series. I just joined the FRG and someone's yelling at me about bake sales.
I love
That's good. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna do.
I would buy it. Yeah, I would definitely buy it for sure. Yeah. And then just to announce on our end, we will be featuring you all on Monday as a blog post, and then making sure that any resources that you have, we'll be sharing it. We're going to be revamping our website. It's a bit tweaked right now under It's Military Child Life, so we'll be making sure we include your series and any resources that you'd like to share with our community.
Awesome. And right, we just changed our business model. We are now donating a book to a military family for every book purchased.
You need books.
We started with Kickstarter, where we were able to donate hundreds of books to children, military children. And now we wanted, if you buy it, we will support another military family. So
I love it. I love it. And then I'll make sure I do that when I do the giveaway, is make sure when I purchase one, then that will go to another military family. So we'll make sure there's 2 winners. So. Oh,
absolutely. Thanks.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on with us. And I'm so excited to see, your journey as a family and as authors. And I'll make sure I include everything in the comments. And thank you so much.
Safe travels.
Thank you. Yeah. Have fun in Korea. It's nice this time of year.
You'll have to share. You have to share your experience.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I for sure will. Well, thank you so much again, and happy month of the military child.
All right, thanks.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.